So today, the Chamber is presenting 3 business awards: the Small Business of the Year, the Business Central Mark of Excellence, and the Entrepreneurial Success Award. Let's begin our program with the 2016 Entrepreneurial Success Award for Blattner Energy. Blattner Energy has a long history of success. They started in 1907, primarily building railroads. From there, they helped build the Alcan Highway, the interstate highway system, and then moved on to dam and bridge construction. Today, they are known as an energy company. And listen to this statistic. They install 35%, over a third, 35% of all wind energy systems in the United States. Did anyone know Blattner Energy was that big? But their road to energy sustainability had its share of potholes. So let's hear their story.
Originally, my great-grandfather, his primary service was to deliver horses to the railroad construction industry. And eventually he leveraged that subcontractor role into building railroads for the railroad industry. And for generations, they were purely just a construction services provider, building railroads and then county highways, and then diversifying into major highways and water control systems and dams and canals and different things like that, and then concrete works of various sorts and sizes. And eventually, through the different experiences we had, we came to realize that we were really a service provider. We were doing more than just building things. We were providing problem-solving services in a collaborative way to our customer, and we were doing it in a market where they weren't paying for that. They were only paying for the construction part.
As we moved into the late 1990s, that's where we really came to a very hard spot for the organization to determine what we were going to do. We couldn't continue to go forward with lackluster results. We needed to make some kind of a change in the organization. One of the key challenges that faced us at the end of 1999, our bank put us into the workout group. It was Wells Fargo, still is Wells Fargo. Put us into the workout group because our results were just too unpredictable for them to know what was actually going to happen with us. I think we all realized that, at this point in time, we can't go forward like this. Either we need to fold the tent, we need to sell what we've got, disperse what it is, and we'll all go off and we'll find something different. Because most of us that were in the business at that time were young enough, we could find another job somewhere if we had to. Or we'll figure this thing out. And that took us, it probably took us a year and a half to finally accept the reality of what we faced, and then probably took us another year and a half to really become comfortable with the decisions we were making. Scary, yeah, maybe. To say it wasn't scary at times would probably not be truthful, but I think we always believed we were going to prevail somehow.
Everyone knows we're a construction company, and that's our long-term history. Over the last 15 years, we've generally just moved towards renewable energy. We do solar plants, we do the wind plants, we do the heavy transmission lines.
We decided to focus and take a chance on one market, and that was very risky. But we believed in what we were doing, and we were convinced, based on our intelligence, not our intellect, but the intelligence in the market, that it would be a growing market and it would explode someday. And the innovation to refuse to diversify was probably the single most innovative thing we did, in spite of what Harvard was trying to tell everybody.
We have spent a tremendous amount of time trying to teach new people in the business how we do business, how we interact and treat each other, how we interact and treat customers, how we interact and treat subcontractors. And it's a different way than I think a lot of people envision contractors treating their customers or subcontractors. And we hold that really near and dear. We created values 15 years ago. We talk a lot about fit and performance for individuals. Now when somebody comes into our business, everybody that works in our organization is somewhat of a protective antibody to the culture that we have, because they enjoy it and they help people get it. And if they don't get it, well, then maybe they need to work somewhere else.
From the outside, or we have customers who tell us, and what's fun is to hear about who we are, or hear about, you guys are like this, you guys are like this, and well, I know, but that would be normal. You know, and it's not normal, and they tell us that when they come to work for us.
And everybody is talking to each other about their weekend and whatever's going on, and giving each other a hard time, and you really can't tell who's the new hire and who's been there for 30 years, because it's just so friendly. And I think that family environment is a big part of why it's such a collaborative organization. You just know you can count on each other.
So please welcome to our stage Scott Blattner, President of Blattner Energy. Scott, thank you. Stay right here. At this time, I'd like to introduce Jason Bernick, celebrating 100 years in business in our community this year, of Bernick's. Jason is chair of the Chamber's Board of Directors and will present the award for the Chamber of Commerce. Jason?
When the Chamber's Business Award Selection Committee begins looking for an Entrepreneurial Success Award recipient, they begin with companies that started out small and under the same leadership have grown into large companies. Though Blattner Energy has been a large company in central Minnesota for many years, it wasn't until their setback in the 1990s that the leadership team's decision to focus on energy sustainability that the company really took off. While the committee was impressed with the company's growth, they were equally impressed with the commitment to the communities in which they do business. As the criteria for the award clearly state, growing your business is not enough. It is how you use those resources to build your community and help others who are less fortunate that truly define success. We learned that no matter where they are in the country that they're working, Blattner Energy creates a line item in their budget that is intended to be spent specifically on charitable activities in their local community, and that includes, of course, their hometown of Avon. As Company Vice President Dave Blattner put it, we need to be more than a good company. We try to become part of the community. And one of the ways we do that is through charitable giving that helps our communities thrive. At this time, it is my pleasure to present the 2016 St. Cloud Area Entrepreneurial Success Award to Blattner Energy, represented by Scott Blattner.
So, excuse me, thinking about this award caused me to reflect, caused me to reflect back on the organization, going back to my great-grandfather. And I think we are the beneficiaries of an entrepreneurial spirit that has come down through the generations of the company, whether it was him or my grandfather and his brothers, or my father and his brothers. There's always been change in the industry, and they have had the instincts to recognize it and change with the changing environment, and they have bestowed those benefits upon myself and the individuals that are in the business today. As had been mentioned on December 30th of 1999, we went into the workout group at our bank, and while a lot of people might have been partying in 1999, I can assure you we were not. And as it was indicated in the video, 2000, 2001, we went through a very elaborate strategic planning exercise with virtually all the managers in the business, trying to sort out which direction we were going to go. We settled on 4 markets at that time. It was railroads, highway heavy civil construction, wind energy, and a small amount of mining for one customer that had been a very good client of ours. So effectively, it was really 3 markets, and in fact, the highway heavy civil market was something of a pacifier that we kept because we couldn't let go of something that we had done for so long in our history. In 2003, we did finally eliminate it, and our sales at that time were $94 million. In 2004, we really tested the strategy that we had identified because the only work that we had in January of that year were a few railroad projects, and our billings for the corporation were about $2 million a month for the first 8 months of the year. So you can imagine that's $20 million in total corporate sales at that point in time. And everybody was kind of like a cat on a hot tin roof about this whole new strategy thing. We were watching a lot of work pass us by. We were being invited to bid on work that we were turning down. And so every time somebody had a concern, we would get back together and talk about it. And in the end, no, we're going to stay with the strategy. It's the right thing to do. Did we know for sure that it was going to work out? Absolutely not. But we had a lot of faith in everything that we were evaluating. So at the end of that year, we picked up a number of wind energy contracts. We ended the year with $120 million in sales. In 2006, we eliminated the railroad market and we were purely a wind energy company, and our sales were $440 million. Today, 2016, as was indicated in the video, we install wind farms, solar farms, high voltage transmission lines, substations. This year, our employment will peak at close to 4,000 people. We've got about 4,400 megawatts of wind and solar that we will install across the United States and Canada. To put it in context, that is about 2 times the power generation of the Becker coal-fired power plant. Our sales will equal just over $1.5 billion, and when you factor in the wind generators and the solar panels, which our customers provide to us to install, that's about $8 billion in assets installed. So I went into construction. I didn't think I was going to have to give speeches. But I do feel really blessed to be up here to represent the corporation because I work with a tremendous group of people. I really do. Every day I think about how fortunate I am for the people that I work with. And so being up here to accept it on behalf of the Blattner family of companies, the Blattner family, is really quite an honor. You know, and previous generations sharing this with us as well, because I remember as a young kid, it was always about how do you make the customer successful? How do we make our employees successful? And that was instilled upon all of us. And it wasn't just my father and his brothers, it was other people in the organization as well. So as I think about the people in our business and the way they operate, they do really make a whole that exceeds the sum of its parts. And on behalf of everybody, I would like to thank the Chamber for this great honor, and I would like to thank all of you for being here. Thank you.